only one who can control all the elements and bring peace to our world.
I will stop them.
You may already be too late.
Man, I think M. Night Shyamalan took the wind out of y'all. You look depressed right now.
It is depressing. You know what? I hope this is the last Airbender. That's all I'm saying. They don't want it to be at the end. They're like, but there is another type of cliffhanger, and you're like, who gives a shit? I'm leaving.
Oh, is that another one of these movies where it's based on a fantasy series before they've been based on books, but this is from a television show?
This is from a whole television show with a full season of episodes, and this is Cliff's Notes of the first season of Avatar: The Last Airbender.
And it's one of those movies where they are so confident that they've created the next Harry Potter that they got to have a cliffhanger at the end.
Chapter 1 of 4.
Yeah. Which they literally do. Book 1.
This is book 1, Water. Which, like with the TV series, it's like, hey, you got a TV series greenlit, you can do that. But ask the people who made the Golden Compass how that worked out.
You know what they needed? They needed a book 1 script.
Yeah,
that's what they needed.
Well, the thing is, this is based on a cartoon that I got to say, right after Batman and the Justice League animated series, this is my absolute favorite cartoon series ever because it's exciting, it's written well, it's acted well,
it's innovative.
It's innovative, and it's so steeped in Asian mythology. And here, he's made a movie that's none of those things.
I'm sorry they took a dump on what you love, dude.
Dude, even compared to M. Night's previous films, this is terrible.
When that fool doesn't have a twist, he doesn't know what to do.
I just don't think he cared. This is the first film that wasn't really an M. Night film.
It really wasn't. Like his trademarks. The thing you can say that are positive about him is like, okay, look, he knows how to set up shots. He works well with actors. He can get good performances out of them. None of that here.
No.
The effects, they might be okay CG effects, but there's no heart to them. They don't get you excited at all.
Not at all. This is probably like one of the most dullest action. It at least was sold to me in the trailer as an action film.
Right.
This is probably by far the most dullest action film I've seen in a long time. Not since Missing in Action 2.
I mean, well, the thing is, it's like, okay, when you set up a character to use a special power, water bending, air bending, whatever, there's a rule that they have to keep constantly doing things that tops the last thing. Otherwise, you don't care anymore.
Yeah, it's just boring.
And he never did that. And probably the worst thing is that the acting is just so subpar. It's like when you watch the first Harry Potter movie and you go like, well, it looks great. He's got a lot of things here, but these kids need a lot more rehearsal.
This movie is probably about the equivalent to The Phantom Menace and the fact that there's no real sense of a threat.
It's because they have no passion, so you don't feel a sense of urgency.
Well, yeah, like I said, he looked at the script and said, there's no twist to this. I don't give a fuck.
No, I don't know what to do. That's
I don't
weakness.
know what I do with this
kryptonite.
And you said The Phantom Menace. I thought the same thing, but for different reasons, because that kid playing the Avatar reminded me of Jake Lloyd.
Yeah,
totally reminded me of Jake Lloyd with his performance.
The story here is that Noah Ringer is that kid, and so from what I get, at least from like the cartoon, because I've only seen a couple of episodes of the cartoon, but and reading the description here on the computer, but he's a young sorcerer, right? And he has to stop like this nation of fire people from enslaving the band Earth, Wind and Fire.
I wish that had been it.
That would have been a lot cooler.
Serpentine. He controls the elements.
Well, I mean, it's basically like this. Like if you took the ancient Asian cultures were broken down into 4 tribes that worship a different element, earth, wind, fire, and air. And he was from the air benders, and he's sort of picked like the Dalai Lama, like, hey, you're going to be the new Avatar, somebody who's powerful enough to control all these.
Yeah, who's reincarnated from previous ones, and they do just like the Dalai Lama. He has to pick out a series of objects to know that's the reincarnated soul, and that's the guy who becomes the all-powerful major domo of peace who can do everything.
Keanu Reeves.
The guy, he is the nuclear weapon of this world.
Yeah.
That nobody does shit because they know that he's going to fuck them up if they do. Or he could anyway.
And his job will be to keep the balance.
Yeah.
But with great power comes super responsibility.
Okay, so on the playground, nobody's taking his milk money then.
Right. Well, the problem is though that he decided to run away from his responsibility, and he ended up in ways the movie doesn't even get into, doesn't even discuss.
He goes Captain America.
He goes Captain America.
100 years.
Are you serious?
Yes. Comes back, and the fire people have just gotten uppity. See, so they go out and they have just taken over almost everything.
What is this?
Anyway.
Fire Nation is here.
They're a bunch of dicks because they even kill all the airbenders looking for. They kill them all, which is why the movie The Last Airbender, because he's actually even the last guy can do the wind thing. So at some point he's gonna have to get up to some fucking.
What? Pretty much. Yeah. So it's a journey of him to like restore the balance. He's got to learn all the other disciplines because he took off and got frozen before somebody was able to teach him all the other.
Can I ask you how he got frozen? Did they not explain
that's what I'm saying. They never.
They don't.
I mean, I think they did in the cartoon.
Yeah,
but in here, like so many things, they just go, look, trust us. It's just how it happens. Okay, we got to move on.
We're saving that for the second movie, which will surely get made.
It's hard to tell who they're making the movie for because sometimes it seems like, we're making this for the fans. Because they know what happened, but then sometimes no, we're making it for the people who don't know to educate them, and it can't make up its mind. So it ends up not being satisfying to either group.
Yeah, no, they turned it into a film for dummies as far as Avatar.
They turned it into a project for the animators to just work out some of their CG things they wanted to do, but that's it. That there's like, so what? There's nothing else there.
They're not spectacular.
No, they're not. And even the martial arts sequences. I mean, there's martial arts all through this film. And I have never seen a martial arts film where it was as boring as this. It was like watching like real martial arts at like a mall karate thing with a bunch of 8-year-olds. It was like that. I mean, it was that level of bad and tedious and slow and wow.
I was waiting for that kid to like at some point at the end of the film like put on makeup and that crazy dress and become like a geisha girl. Yeah, like because that's what they're doing. It looks like they're doing geisha moves back and forth, and there's long scenes where the camera's like circling them, and it seems to go on forever. And you're like, well, what does this have to do with anything? And why should I care? What the fuck is going on in this movie?
Not to mention the action scenes that do the zoom into the effects. Like, oh wait, we're gonna show you like a thing going on here with a water spell. And so they're like, oh, wait, we got to zoom in real quick. Wasn't that cool? Okay, we're going to zoom back out again.
And it's not cool at all.
And there's another thing over here.
And the sad thing is that M. Night had plenty to look at as far as reference, as far as even the action sequences, which the action sequences are completely fucking boring, completely forgettable, where the cartoon, you watch that cartoon and the action scenes are like, they make you scream, wow, you can't wait to, you're like, oh, this is going to look great if somebody filmed this with like real people live with great effects.
Not if it's in
Not at all, no.
Well, the cartoon has almost a Miyazaki-like feel to those sequences. There's something about it. It has that sort of Japanese quaintness to it that really works, but none of that gets across in this film.
You know what he contributed the most to this? Is that he replaced what should have been Asian actors with white actors and a lot of Indian actors.
Yeah,
most of the Fire Nation Indian.
Yeah, because I know like one of the actors in here is Jackson Rathbone, who's also coming out in Twilight this weekend too. So,
but even then, it's like you look at like the extras, and a lot of time they're just regular looking white. I mean, there'll be soldiers, and they're like 14-year-old white kids, and you're like, why are you? I don't understand. And like one thing I thought was funny. All right, so the Blue Tribes, that the two ostensibly main characters, even though they do nothing except stand there and go, wow, are from the. They are a bunch of Eskimos. You look around and they're like, wow, they are Eskimos, like they should be. They live way up in the fucking Antarctic, except for the two main kids and their mom. Yeah. That's it. They're white as can be.
Even their grandmother is an Eskimo, and they aren't.
I know. It's like you talk about a film not wanting to offend anybody, but doing that at the same time by trying to make it multicultural. You're like, you know what? I miss the old days.
You know what I love to see? I love to see some of the Asian people and they're replaced with actual black people. You see dudes with